are you talking about? The plate is like this big.
Softball fans, we're back. It's Here's the Deal. And I have the one and only Ches Severs and the one and only Allie Martinez with us. They are quarantined in Austin and where are you? Lake?
I'm in Lake Jackson, good old Lake Jackson, Texas.
So we're coming
home
from
of
you
Selena.
All over the place. Is that the home of Selena?
Well, so
Yeah.
actually my aunt did Selena's hair whenever she lived here in Lake Jackson. So she lived in Corpus Christi and then she lived in Lake Jackson for a while. So fun fact.
Allie, how long have we known you? Years. Years we have gone without you divulging this information.
I really thought I told you that, though.
No. All right, Ches, have you heard this information from Allie?
I have. That's how I know.
Well, then she's just betraying
kind
me.
of like Selena royalty.
She's just betraying me then with the information.
Yeah, just you.
Withholding information from me.
Also, Allie, is Lake Jackson the home of the first Buc-ee's? Or did I make that up?
One of the first Buc-ee's. Yeah. My
God, I know so much useless information.
Useless? No. Our fans are getting they're getting a history lesson right now about Lake Jackson. Home of Selena and home of the first Buc-ee's. Also, if you don't know what Buc-ee's is, that's a separate discussion that we'll save for another day. For all you people who are, I guess Buc-ee's is just Texas, right, guys?
Basically. Yeah. Well, I think they're expanding to Alabama and some other places.
Okay. We'll save Buc-ee's for another time.
That's where it's at.
Buc-ee's is, as somebody from like the north, I had, I didn't know much about Selena and I knew nothing of Buc-ee's, and now my eyes are open completely.
I mean, two things I really love. Like, who doesn't
Right?
love Selena? I attend the Selena tribute movie at Alamo every year, and whenever I drive anywhere in Texas, I make sure to stop at a Buc-ee's. Those are things that you do in Texas. Ellie, back me up.
You're welcome, world.
For the show today, we're just going to talk about things you do in Texas. Selena tribute video movie at Alamo Drafthouse and Buc-ee's. We're gonna keep adding to the list as we go along. I guess we can talk about softball.
Yeah, we can get into the show. I mean, because I was like, do I start talking more about the Selena tribute movie and how awesome it is? But you know what? I'll save it. You can message me to have that separate discussion on how much I love the Selena movie and Selena in general. Okay, that's enough.
That's it. Now we're talking about softball. We're talking about new hires. There were a couple so far during quarantine, and we have some speculation. We like to speculate. We have a couple open positions that we want to this. So, why don't we start with Minnesota?
Yeah, Piper Ritter. I mean, come on. It was again another. I feel like I called this one. In terms of who they should. I'm just saying that once again I was right.
Okay, you called one of them that we're going to talk about. I don't remember you calling this one.
I did say. Wait. We can roll back the tape. I'll find the soundbite, but I'm pretty sure that when we talked about the coaching move with Jamie Traxel moving over to Ole Miss, that I thought the best hire would be Piper Ritter. I'm pretty sure I said that.
I'm with you, Ches. I think you did.
Video or it didn't happen.
Thank you, Allie.
Video or it didn't happen. I remember you calling the other one that we're going to talk about. I do not remember you calling Minnesota, but Piper Ritter, she was the pitching coach at Minnesota.
Yes.
Had developed 4 top-notch pitchers in her career as
Sarah
a pitching
Moulton, Sarah Gronewagen, Amber Pfizer, like studs. It was like a no-brainer for me. Now, I'm curious to see who she's going to hire as the assistant coaches, because there I'm like kind of in the dark about who she's going to hire.
Oh, so
she could go.
You called all these head coach, but you're in the dark on these assistant coaches and these fills.
Look, I'm just being honest with you.
I'm just
okay. All right.
Do you have a guess, or are you completely in the dark?
I mean, I think she could go with a former alum. Look, she's going to have to hire a hitting coach and a defensive specialist. Obviously, she has the pitching part locked down. am just like, I have no idea like who she's close with in the softball community to be able to make kind of like an accurate guess or even an educated guess about who it would potentially be. But I do think, I mean, some of her alumni may have a shot because it's like people she's worked with, she trusts them, they know the system, it makes it an easier transition. Or she can go based on recommendations from people who are in her softball circle, and that I don't know. I don't have insight into that.
All right, we'll let you go. With
Sorry
that
to bore
one.
you.
We'll let you go with that one. But that's the only one that you
All
get.
right.
That's the only one you get today where you're like, I don't know.
Fine.
Cal hires alumnus Chelsea Spencer.
Yes, called that one.
That one you did call.
Which they sat on that hire for so long. And I know some of the coaches that they were going after, and they're a UCLA alum. But I just think, look, you need somebody who's going to go into Cal and grind, because that job is going to be a frickin' grind. Just like dealing with the current situation, which hasn't been great, and the incoming recruits, what's that look like? She's got to hire a new pitching coach, a hitting coach. So just the facilities, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I don't think there's a better person to go in and get after it than Chelsea. That's what I think.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. And if you look at the moves that she's made the last several years, she was at Oregon as an assistant, then she went to Texas as an assistant, and now she's going to be head coach at her alma mater. Like she's making really smart career moves, outside looking in. And she, you make the point, no one knows that school better than she does. She was an alumnus. She won a national championship there. Like, who better to kind of bring it out of, up to, competitive level in the pack again than an alumnus who with a phenomenal resume and a national championship. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. It was an easy one for you to call. It was an easy one for you to call. That was a no-brainer.
Look, they took long enough. And when you go down the line of coaches in the Pac-12, it falls in line with what makes the Pac so great. Like Heather Tarr, Washington alum. Kelly I, UCLA alum. When you look at Arizona, you've got Taryn Mowat on staff. You've got Caitlin Lowe on staff. I mean, you have this long, illustrious history of alumni and Pac-12 players, and I feel they've done a terrific job. I mean, we're talking about teams that are in the top 10.
So you think that's been a strength of the Pac-12?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I agree with
that.
that.
Like UCLA is the prime example of like why it works. It's been the same system since Sharon Backus started the program. Once they were the first fully funded softball team in the country. And she put in a system that was used by Sue, and that was in turn, like Kelly I became the apprentice to Sue, and then Kirk went to UCLA and was the brother of one of the players. Lisa Fernandez obviously went there and played with Kelly I, played under Sharon Backus and Sue Enquist. I mean, just the tapestry that has been woven there is so strong. And I think that is huge when it comes to the success of a program.
And you agree, Allie?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. It's funny like that you bring that up, Ches, because it's something I actually just haven't really thought about at first. And then I was like, wow, like thinking back, like all these teams, like they're so tight knit in the Pac-12, like they're so intertwined with each other. So yeah, I definitely agree that that's what makes the Pac-12 probably stronger.
Oh, absolutely. Iron shapes iron.
Look at the knowledge dropping right now from Chaz and Allie.
I just think, and I've known Chelsea for a while. This has been a dream of hers, and I know it hurts her heart when she sees that program not, doing as well as it could. I mean, I felt the same way for a while too, watching Texas kind of tank.
Throw your horns up. Throw your horns up.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like to see new energy go in there and change the direction of a program is what you hope to see, because when you go there as a player, I know it was definitely my mission to change the legacy of the program, and I think Chelsea will do that. It won't be without some bumps in the road because it's just not easy. There's a lot of pieces that have to go in place to make this whole thing go. But I have no doubt that she'll do the work that's necessary for them to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, she's gotten to this point in her career for obvious reason. So I'm excited for her. You talk about the challenges that Cal faces, and then throw on top of that a global pandemic that has thrown enormous wrenches into budgets. But she'll be fine. I think she'll do great. So with totally. Cal hiring Chelsea, that leaves a hole at Texas.
Yes.
So who, as a Texas alum, who do you think Texas is going to hire to replace her?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I feel like with all of Coach White's hires, they've always surprised me. All of them. And honestly, for that position, they're going to look for defensive specialists who will work with the infield and outfield. And then somebody who also is good on the recruiting front. I do think Steve Singleton has done a great job just hitting the floor running when it comes to recruiting. But I think for them, they know in order to have a sustainably successful program, they're going to have to keep pounding on the pavement in terms of recruiting, and especially in Texas where we're seeing the talent rise every single year. It's important that they're at the forefront in terms of conversations with the top prospects and what schools to go with. I do think, honestly, the best hire would probably be Lincoln Martin, in my opinion. But I don't know if that'll happen. He's got a pretty great setup in Georgia. But you talk about somebody who has a scouting background. He is a defensive specialist. He's also a hitting specialist. I just think he's awesome to be around. I love his even keel nature and his ability to communicate with players and coaches. He would be my favorite. I don't know if he's in the running. Some people have speculated even Travis Wilson from Florida State because they've got the Kiwi background. They have been around each other and the game. But that's pure speculation. So it'll be interesting to see who kind of comes up in the conversation. I know that they've probably been having this conversation for the last, 2 to 3 weeks in terms of who would potentially be the next coach in that trio.
I mean, you're making these are official picks, folks. These are coming straight from Chaz. These are official picks. I could imagine.
I just go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I could imagine some viewers being like, "Oh, well, Kat stepped away from Texas State. Could it be Kat?" And we talked about that a little bit before the show. She doesn't necessarily fit, right? They're clearly looking for a defensive specialist and a recruiting specialist. Her pitching is obviously her forte, so we don't necessarily see Kat going there, but
Yeah, I don't see that for also a couple other reasons. Obviously, she's training for the 2021 Olympics, which puts a wrench in trying to acclimate to this new coaching staff. And we all know this. Texas is going to be a Women's College World Series contending team. And whoever is going to go in and take that spot, I think it's going to be for longevity. And they have to be ready to hit the ground running going there. Because like Mike, we saw the quick turnaround with the Texas program. And if you think that it was easy, I mean, that coaching staff is working around the clock, like on the phone, scouting, talking game. I mean, it's no joke. You know, somebody has to go in there and like be willing to put up the same, if not more, amount of work than the other coaching pairs, in my opinion. So,
all right. So Lincoln Martin is your dark horse.
He would be my top pick.
Okay.
I mean, he could go with a female coach. That's potential. And the other avenue that we haven't talked about is like, could he go with an Oregon alum? But we also really haven't seen that in terms of his hires. I mean, you can argue that Kylie Kawiko was part of the coaching staff, but she wasn't a full-time coach. She was the volunteer.
Yeah. Well, regardless, he has always surprised you. So I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's probably going to surprise us again.
Yeah. He definitely could.
Moving to the SEC, Tennessee has a hole to fill. Who's going to replace Marty McDaniel?
Oh, man. I can't say I was exactly shocked because we've seen pitching have their highs and lows at Tennessee, and to see to see him resign, it's to spend that much time with the program with so many great pitchers, and then also being able to identify top pitchers, a little surprising. But I think either the Weeklies have somebody in mind to take over pitching, or they take a long time and flesh out who they really want to be their pitching coach. Like if I was a pitching coach right now, like in college, like get after it, talk to who you need to talk to, because like that is like the hot commodity. Every team needs it. And it's really like in terms of ratio of coaches, like the ratio of coaches kind of lie more in the hitting defensive section of coaching versus a pitching expert. So if I were you guys, I would start putting together your presentations, like put together your stats. I think
update your LinkedIn. All of it.
Exactly. But also when you keep in mind, so say if you're like a younger pitching coach, do you walk into that situation? How many years do the Weeklies have there? I mean, that would be my question in terms of before I step into that situation. But the bright side is Tennessee always recruits really great pitchers.
Yeah, that's
they just
true.
need to stay there.
So do you have an official pick here, an official guess?
Well, we saw Ellen Renfro she coached at Louisiana, and she kind of took a step down to a more non-competitive level. But I could see a former alum coming back if they had a good working relationship with the Weeklies. That wouldn't surprise me if that happened. But I'm telling you, pitching where it's at, if you got a decent kind of resume to put together, that's where the work is needed, in my opinion. So I'm not really sure. Could go with an alum or could go with a men's fast pitch coach. That could potentially happen. I don't know. I also, who I like highly regard, Mark Smith, the head coach for Canada, like really good coach, level-headed, even keeled. Somebody's got to hire that guy. Like,
somebody hire that guy. What are you guys doing?
He's good. He's good.
And same thing with Monica here. Some people could be like, oh, well, what about Monica? And it's like, it's the same thing that you mentioned with Kat. Tennessee does need a pitching focus, but the timing is off, right, with the Olympics and everything.
Olympics, and she still plays in the Japan League.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, no one's going to turn down the Japan League money.
That's very true.
No, they're sticking with that. I mean, it's a lot of work, but as long as she continues to have a spot there, I don't see that changing for her. But we'll see after the 2021 Olympics. I'm sure Monica's already thinking about like what happens after the 2021 Olympics. Like that has to be at the forefront of all their minds. On what the next step is, and there's no better time to think about it than in quarantine. So,
anything else on hires? Parting thoughts?
Not at the moment. I'm thankful that there's no D1 softball programs being dropped right now. I know you guys have probably seen some sports are being dropped from various schools across the country. So let's hope and pray that the softball programs stay across the country because, this sport is growing. I've had just friends who aren't really involved in sports but know that I'm involved in softball just say, hey, I miss seeing softball on during this time, because we're used to having softball on around the clock, at the sports bars, at the restaurants, and it's strange, right now we would be talking about the World Series.
Right. And you know what? We're still going to, because why not?
Bring it.
We are making 2021 Women's College World Series picks because we just missed the Women's College World Series. So
why not?
Because why not? Yeah. Exactly.
Why the hell not?
So who would make it? Who would make the Women's College World Series next year based on what we know now? Mm-hmm. Give us a couple of your picks. I got UCLA. A couple picks. Okay. UCLA is an obvious one.
I mean, I'm gonna go out and just say it right now. I think they'll probably win.
You know what?
They bring Bubba back and they bring Rachel Garcia back.
I'm gonna make a hot take here. Mark this down. I think Arizona's gonna win. With that core of seniors that they are bringing back. And I was just so moved by our discussion with Mike Candrea. If you missed it, you should go watch it. It was, hands down one of the best Here's the Deals we've done. I was just sitting and listening with my jaw on the table. Hot take.
They're going to be really good.
Arizona is going to be really good, and I could see them winning. Allie?
Wow.
Who you got?
I'm excited for Washington still.
Ooh,
Washington
okay.
Yeah. Kelly Lynch. Yeah, I'm ready for him.
Yeah. Well, we all just gave Pac-12 right off the top. Do we have any other Pac teams that we think will be in the Women's College World Series?
Well, I mean, Sarah, I totally agree with you. I think Arizona is going to make the World Series.
Say that again?
I'm not sure that they're going to win it.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say that you agreed with me?
I agreed that they would make the World Series. I didn't say that they would win it.
I think the words that came out of your mouth were, Sarah, I agree with you.
Oh, wow.
We'll leave it there.
All right. Moving on. Allie, I also agree with you. I think that Washington will make the World Series. I mean, you return Morgan Flores to Spates. You'll have Gabby playing along with a stellar freshman class. You've got Kelly Lynch, who gets to repeat her freshman year, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
They're good. I mean, I think the competition is going to be next level. For me, the bubble team for me in terms of World Series has got to be Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they've got really good pitching. I think their offense needs to level up just a little bit to be able to be a solid in the solid 8 for me. What are your guys' thoughts?
I think placing them on the bubble is fair. I would not. They would not be in my top 8, but they're a bubble team, for sure. So we got UCLA, we got Arizona, we got Washington. I'm gonna go ahead and throw. Oh, we got a question.
What do you think about Alabama?
Oh, you going to the SEC?
I think they're making it for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're making it for sure. They returned 7 seniors, one of the leading RBI producers in the country. You have Montana Fouts. Like that pitching staff is like insane.
It's crazy.
They're going to go.
If they don't make the World Series, I don't know what I would do, but
say
I would be
be careful, because if you say it on camera, you'll have to do it. All right, so we got UCLA, we got Arizona, Washington, Alabama. Who else?
Texas, duh.
Are we going? Yeah. Are we going to Big 12? Texas for sure.
I hate saying it, being an Aggie, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, okay. Put your, it's fine. With your gig'em and your rings. If we're going to talk Big 12,
you went there too, Sarah.
I did. I got my master's degree there. I have a ring. I have an Aggie ring. And then I worked at UT, so it doesn't matter. Going with OU, obviously, right? If we're talking Big 12.
I would think
so.
Oklahoma.
So
Nicole Mendez should be fully recovered, and they still have G. Juarez, Shannon Sale. I think they're good to go. Offensively, we know they're a Studley team, and then pitching wise, they're always tough.
We got 2 more spots: UCLA, Washington, Arizona, OU, Texas, Alabama. 2 more spots.
I think LSU. Yeah. I like what I saw. They return all their seniors. They also bring in a really good class of freshmen. They're going to be extremely deep in all positions. And I think that's like a really experienced senior class that they have there that'll like be the difference maker in terms of guiding this team back to Oklahoma City.
One more.
So here's my bubble teams.
All right, Oregon's one.
You guys feel free.
Oregon's one of the bubbles.
Yeah, Oregon's one of them. Florida is one of them. Florida State is one of them. And then Oklahoma State. Those are like my bubble teams.
It's no Big Ten.
If there was going to be a Big Ten team.
It's okay. You don't have to. I'm just trying to lay it out for the people at home. We have no Big Ten teams.
That's how I feel about
That's fine.
Exactly how I feel about the Big Ten teams. I'm like this.
We have Florida State is the.
I would say at this point no.
Okay.
But Michigan's very good. Northwestern stumbled, but they're a very, very talented team. And obviously, when you have Minnesota and Amber Pfizer, you got a shot.
Well,
now, do they have anybody behind her? That's a question.
There you go. So we gave the folks at home 7 picks and a couple bubbles, and man, I missed the Women's College World Series.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It's wild. Well.
It's like I wanted that Sarah McLachlan song to start playing. Will you remember?
You can edit it in, right? I think that'd be fine. All right, Ches. What's new? What's new on FloSoftball?
If you haven't been watching the Ches show, kind of get with it. I think, self-promotion at its finest, but it's a really good show. And this week we have Dr. Kyla Holtz. We have Carol Bruggeman on the show. Next week we'll have Natasha Watley, Dana Sorensen, Jazz Vesley, Kevin Shelton, Lily Ocasio. We have FloSoftball 24/7 this weekend, and then next week we'll have softball back on Flo with the Tulsa Elite Summer Invite.
Live softball.
So
we have live softball. Yeah. It's coming in hot.
4th through the 7th.
We're gonna do it live.
Yep, I will be there.
Ches, I'll shamelessly promote you. If you're not watching the Ches Show, what are you doing with your life? Something to consider. Did you hear the people that she listed off? I'm not there, so that's one thing, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, and then we have live softball.
Yeah.
What a time! What a crazy time to be alive right now.
Mm-hmm. We're getting there. All right, folks. Be sure to tune in next week. We've got a special guest, and I should have wrote it in the ticker. I didn't do that. Sorry, guys. I just
they'll just have to wait and find out. Very special guest. They're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, Lauren Laporte, head coach of JMU, will be joining us.
Or you can
we'll have Jamie Traxel on the show. We're gonna have Chelsea Spencer on the show. We'll line up guests all through June and July to keep you guys posted and informed about softball. That's the deal.
That's the deal.